The average American family making $100,000 a year has less than $4,000 in savings. $4,000. And here's what's crazy, it's not because they don't make enough money, it's because they're making the same five financial mistakes over and over again, and nobody's telling them the truth about it. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what those mistakes are, the real math behind why they're destroying your family's future, and what you can actually do about it starting today. Let's get into it. All right, first one, the invisible income creep. And this is the big one that gets almost everyone. Here's the thing, every time you make more money, your brain immediately recalculates what you deserve. Let me show you what this actually looks like. Real couple, change names. Sarah and Tom made $85,000 combined 5 years ago. Lived in a modest house, drove paid off cars, doing fine. Tom gets promoted, income jumps to $135,000. That's $50,000 more, about $2,900 extra per month after taxes. Within 18 months, here's what happened: bigger house, plus $1,200 per month mortgage, two new lease cars, plus $850 per month, eating out way more, plus $600 per month, better vacations, plus $300 per month average, all the subscriptions and upgrades, plus $200 per month. Do the math with me. That's $3,150 in new monthly expenses. They got $2,900 after taxes. They're now spending $250 more than the raise gave them. And here's where it gets really interesting. A 2024 Federal Reserve study found that for every $1 increase in income, the average American family increases spending by $1.08. You're literally spending money you don't have on the promise of making more. Look, I'm not saying you don't deserve nice things, but every time you upgrade your lifestyle without upgrading your savings rate first, you're stealing from your future self. The fix? Simple rule. Every time your income increases, immediately save at least 50% of the after tax increase. Got a $10,000 raise? That's about $7,000 after taxes, $583 per month. Automatically save $290. Spend the other half guilt free. Second mistake, financing your lifestyle. The average American family has $7,951 in credit card debt. But families making over $100,000, they average $11,200. Now you might be thinking, Brian, that's because they can afford to pay it back. Let me show you the actual math. $10,000 credit card debt at 19.99% APR. You make the minimum payment of $200 a month. Here's what happens: payoff time 7 years, 10 months, interest paid $8,262, total cost $18,262. You literally paid almost double for whatever you bought. And here's what most people don't realize. According to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, 73% of families with children carry debt specifically for experiences and lifestyle maintenance: the furniture, the vacation, the birthday party. And here's the really insidious part: you're teaching your kids this is normal. Every dollar you spend on interest is a dollar you're taking from your family's future. And when your kids watch you stress about money, hear you arguing about the credit card bill, that's what they're actually learning. The brutal truth: if you can't afford to pay cash for it right now, you can't afford it. Third mistake, and this one stings: how many real financial conversations did you have with your spouse last month? Here's the thing. A 2023 Fidelity study found that 43% of couples don't know how much their partner earns. 43%. These are people sharing a bed, raising kids together, and they don't know the most basic financial information. It gets worse. 36% argue about money at least once a month, but only 54% have discussed their long term financial goals. It gets worse. 36% argue about money at least once a month, but only 54% have discussed their long term financial goals. Real example: clients Jennifer and Mike. Combined income $180,000, married 12 years, two kids. I ask them, what does retirement look like for you? Jennifer: I want to retire at 60 and travel. Mike: I'm working until 70 because I love my job. They just stared at each other, 12 years married, completely different visions of their future, never discussed it. When we dug deeper, Mike was paying $1,000 extra on the mortgage every month. Jennifer was putting $500 extra in her 401k. Neither knew what the other was doing. Both secretly resented the other's spending. This is the communication blackout. And here's where it gets really interesting. The University of Michigan found that couples who have weekly financial conversations have 35% higher marriage satisfaction and accumulate 23% more wealth over 10 years. The fix: schedule a monthly money date. Same day, same time, 90 minutes. Discuss where money went last month, your top 3 financial goals, and one thing to do differently next month. It'll be awkward. You might argue that's normal, but couples who do this reduce money stress by 47% within 6 months. Fourth mistake: not having an emergency fund. According to Bankrate's 2024 survey, 56% of Americans couldn't cover a $1,000 emergency with savings. And families making over $100,000, 42% don't have $1,000 in accessible savings. Now you might be thinking, I have a credit card for emergencies. Look, a credit card is not an emergency fund. It's a loan from your future self at 20% interest. Let me show you why this matters. The average family has a major emergency: job loss, medical issue, car breakdown, every 3.7 years. Your transmission dies, $3,500. You put it on a credit card at 19.99% APR, making $150 monthly payments. You'll pay $617 in interest over 28 months. But here's where it gets really interesting. During those 28 months, what happens when the next emergency hits? Because statistically, it will. Now you're juggling multiple emergencies on credit, interest compounding, and suddenly you're in a hole that seems impossible to climb out of. The fix: forget 6 months of expenses for now. That's too overwhelming. Save $1,000, just $1,000. Save $50 per week. You'll have it in 20 weeks. Once you have $1,000, everything changes psychologically. Then build to $2,000, then $5,000, then 3 months, then 6 months. But it starts with $1,000. Last one. And this one keeps me up at night. Here's the thing about retirement: it feels so far away, your brain can't process the urgency. But the math is brutal if you wait. You're 35 years old. Start investing $500 a month at 7% return. By 65, you'll have roughly $566,000. Wait just 10 years and start at 45. Same $500 per month, same 7% return. You'll have $244,000. You waited 10 years and lost more than half the money. That's compound interest working against you. And here's what most people don't realize. According to the Employee Benefit Research Institute, the average family sacrifices $150,000 in retirement savings by not maximizing their employer match. $150,000 of free money just left on the table. Your employer offers a 5% match. You make $80,000. Contribute 5%. That's $4,000 from you, $4,000 from them. $8,000 total per year. But you only contribute 3% because you need the money now. You get $2,400 from your employer instead of $4,000. That's $1,600 per year you're not taking. Over 30 years with compound interest, $152,000 you'll never see. And here's the brutal truth from an AARP study: 41% of current retirees say their biggest regret is not saving more when they were younger. The fix: at bare minimum, contribute enough to get your full employer match. Can't afford it? Start at 1% this month. Next month, increase to 2%. Keep going until you hit the match. You'll barely notice the incremental change, but your future self will notice the $150,000. Look, these mistakes aren't happening because you're bad with money. They're happening because you're human. But normal doesn't have to be your destiny. Every family I've worked with who turned their finances around made one decision: their future was more important than their comfort today. Because here's what most people don't realize: Financial stress affects your marriage, your health, your relationship with your kids, your ability to be present. Financial stability, that's freedom, that's options, that's handling life's curveballs without your world falling apart. So pick one action step from today, just one. Schedule the money date, set up automatic savings, increase your 401k by 1%. Do one thing this week your future self will thank you for. If this helped you, share it with someone who needs to hear this. The worst financial mistake is thinking you have to figure this all out alone. I'll see you in the next one.